Hi Gorgeous Lights, this is an energy update starting from the 20th of March. Gosh, there is a huge amount of stuff going on in the off-world, there seriously is. And whenever things are happening in the 5D, there's a massive amount that happens down here as well. A lot of it is integration, so if you're waking up in the middle of the night, maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, it's because you're meant to integrate understanding into the physical body as you during the sleeping time. It's always the best time, if you can be bothered, to connect with guides or loved ones as well, because they can show up during this period of time. There's a vividness to dreams right at the moment, and there's a lot of information that's coming through in dreams as people are processing things in the 5D. They can appear in your dreams even if they're still not a part of your world. So I have a few people say there's people from the past popping up in my dreams as well. Yep, there's a lot of integrations that happen in the 5D that we can dream about and can happen. That doesn't mean that you need to be connected to a person in the 3D as well. Now, a lot of it is in an alchemy that you're working on at the moment, and one thing I have noticed about people's brains is that they're all over the show, and you can kind of feel like you're having these big hypocritical moments where one minute you're thinking this way and the next minute you're thinking the other way, and you will get frustrated with yourself as well. Spirit says very, very clearly it's time to give your brain a break. So doing things that actually ground you, wiggle your toes, do something creative, do something, hands in the garden, whatever, that brings you down into doing rather than being up in your head and thinking, scenarioizing, or any of the things that are going on in this energy right at the moment as well. It's quite a big time. It's definitely a clearing energy, definitely being shown what all your limiting beliefs are, the way that you deal with yourself as a person, the way that you deal with others as a person. So if you're finding that you're riding a triggering roller coaster of emotions, then understand that you're being shown where you need to work with emotional alchemy to start actually realizing that your emotions don't need to drag you around all over the place, that you can actually look at why you're being triggered, how you're being triggered, all of those sorts of things that are coming up at the moment as well. And they're coming thick and fast, so just be really, really mindful of this. I just got hit with one just before when someone asked me to do something, and I thought, I don't ask other people to do things like this for me. And then I'm like, why not? And had to come back to actually looking at that there's a childhood part of me that doesn't believe it's appropriate to actually let people help me. And I was like, oh, so there's stuff like that, just as an example, that's actually coming up and will be shown to you. It is totally worth, Spirit says, taking the time to pause and investigate the why. Why are you being pummeled with emotional situations, triggering situations, difficult people as well? It's working like this at the moment. If you never address conflict and dealing with difficult people, then they'll all be coming out of the woodwork. If you never gave yourself a voice because of that, then you will feel pushed to get your voice. We're heading into this beautiful energy, and it's a process. It's a discovery process. You kind of like, what did Spirit say the other day to someone? You're digging under the dirt of life to find the gem that you once were or are underneath all of this as well. Now, it can be really, really easy to go, well, I wasn't nurtured enough, or I had a difficult upbringing. Yes, you probably did, but you probably had a difficult upbringing. So in this lifetime, you can learn to stand your ground and recognize who you are as a person on the inside. And, it's about 95% of the population that actually has childhood trauma. I'm not talking about extreme childhood trauma. I'm talking about childhood trauma where a need wasn't met, or a dream wasn't fulfilled, or acceptance wasn't given, or approval wasn't given. All of these sorts of things are actually triggering right at the moment in this energy. So it keys on you taking the time to understand it's happening for you, not to you. It's happening for you so that you can love well these wounded parts of yourself and also put them back into balance as well. Now, if you're divine masculine, in this energy. You'll be being pushed a lot to look at this wounding that you've got, where you've got unfulfilled desires or insecurities. Everything will be triggering. It could be coming through work, could be coming through familiar relationships, could be coming through anywhere, your children, everything, to empower you to see where you need to step up and heal yourself. And I particularly feel for divine masculine at the moment, because it is really, really the universe pushing for them to get in touch with themselves emotionally, which keys on you being vulnerable enough to stop pushing emotions away and actually start exploring why you actually feel the way that you do. And to be fair, a lot of where we actually get this understanding is through our interpersonal relationships and all of that sort of thing that's going on right at the moment as well. Spirit has just said to me, it's kind of crunch time for us to get real with each other, and the honesty and directness of what we actually want from relationships, but more so the kind of, they've just called it funk, the kind of funk that you're bringing to relationships and the expectation of another person fixing you. And it's why we have such terrible statistics to do with relationships on the earth plane at this time as well. So this is energy. Now, if you're feeling like hermiting away and pulling yourself away, then that is the universe pulling you back to say, they've been using this gorgeous phrase, not quite a caterpillar, you're not quite a butterfly, but you kind of butterfly soup in the middle. So if you're pulling away and you're hermiting away so you can work on some stuff on the inside of you, realize you're being given a push or a soul level pull from your soul to say, I need to deeply investigate what I actually do need for myself as well. And that's going to be very, very hard to put into wording, incredibly hard to put into wording, but know that it's actually happening so that you can rework into the best version of who you need to be for yourself. Now, lots and lots of people are going to think that people are being very, very selfish at this period of time, but we're kind of being self-isolated or pulling away from wanting to overhelp or overcompensate, because it is time to deeply connect with self as well. All of this is going on, and then we've got eclipses, and then we've got planetary alignments, and every single thing, even credits has said, every man and their dog kind of being thrown at you for you to look at where your clear boundaries are, look at how you turn up, look at where you're hiding from yourself, or you're choosing an alignment to hide behind, instead of doing the real work on yourself as well. So it's such an investigative process time that it keys on you taking the time and the value of seeing what's actually involved as you invest into this energy. Now, I know years and years and years ago when I started to do inner child work or insecurity work, wounding work, all of that sort of thing, every time I went to do it, I was like, oh my goodness, why can't I just get through this? Well, there's a lifetime of hurts that you can accumulate on you, and human beings, nailing it, can pile a ton of stuff on themselves in this lifetime, and it keys on you actually taking the time and the care and the listening skills and understanding and compassion directed towards yourself that you would normally gift another person. You just don't put you in the equation. Now, it is not selfish for you to pull back and say, I need to look at this for myself, because it's more detrimental if you're directing that towards another person. So right across the whole board, gorgeous divine feminine, you're being told by your soul to stop doing everything, to stop being everything to everybody else. Nobody asked you to do that. You might have got core programming growing up that you should be the person that sorts everything out. Time to stop. The universe is saying you're too tired, and it's time to actually start putting yourself back into the equation. There's a lot going on to do with this dynamic, because we need unity on the inside before we have unity in community. So this is a year of refocusing and getting sorted. So the energy is starting to amp up, guys. Now, if you're masculine, divine masculine, you'll be getting that little push to kind of take the control back in your life and actually look at how you want to turn up in relationships and what you actually need for relationships. And I have to say that level of vulnerability that's required may get you to pull back into yourself and start to do the inner work as well. Ladies, be patient with the men be patient with the ladies. We're all in this together and needing to actually sort out exactly how we're actually dealing with all of this as well. It's a great time to be doing it, and it's really, really easy to feel like it's a burden to look at your own stuff. It's not. It's incredibly empowering and it's incredibly freeing. And I can say that having worked through it, you've got to start to identify what's actually truthfully going on, acknowledge it's going on, and then release the frustration and annoyance that's pent up with it and come back to looking after yourself. I can't stress enough that self-care is a premium this year, and certainly in the next 2 months it keys on you looking after your health, or the universe will set you on your bottom till you realise how important you are. Take care of you in this energy. In the next 6 weeks is a bit bumpy, guys, as we're starting to identify where your truthful needs are that you need to gift back to yourself first before you get other people involved in relationships. Take your time. It's a process. Keep shining.